Hello Tigers, Squiggles. I thought I would just live stream this shizzle because it just makes sense. I think sometimes it's good to have a video, just me talking and just talking you through what you need to do. So I'd suggest that what you do is you grab a pen and paper, because I know most of you won't watch this live. I would do it in the evening, but I'm with clients later, so I would suggest you you just get a pen and paper and you just write down some notes about what you need to do. So big issue, or kind of one of the big things that came through for most of you as a vegetarian, how to get enough protein, and I think over the last kind of maybe 4 or 5 years or so, we're really seeing the impact of how much protein has, especially when you're aiming for fat loss. Okay. So, by the way, I spilled toothpaste on my top. Please excuse me. I'm human. So I think, this is a really good one to just talk through and just get you to understand the importance of protein, just from a recap, and anyone whether vegetarian or not can just have a recap, but also from the point of view of what you need to do to change the mindset around what you do. Okay, so the quick run through, protein is one of the 4 major macronutrients. So you've got protein, carbohydrates, fats, fiber, or alcohol. You could argue, for most of you, it'd probably be alcohol. So those are the 4 major macronutrients that all food has some part of, right? Now, when it comes to protein, there are a number of what we call amino acids. Okay, so we have this umbrella term, amino acids, and we have the bit underneath, which is then protein, and we have the amino acids which are underneath. Okay, now in people who are omnivorous, they eat meat and fish, it's easy to get all of those amino acids from meat and fish, right? For people that are plant-based or vegetarian, often you struggle to do that, especially if you're vegan. That's what it is. It gets even harder. But those plants don't have complete protein sources or amino acid profiles. So what we're trying to do is just make sure we get a nice range of amino acids, because they've all got different functions. The big one is leucine, which is typically responsible for muscle growth and muscle repair. But they're all amino acids are all valid. Okay, your hormones, not your hormones, your enzymes are all made of protein, as well. So that's massive. Like, if you can have all of the hormonal stuff going on, but if you haven't got the enzymes that work, then nothing's going to happen. So that's the first one. Okay, the other thing is that protein, and I've covered it in a protein workshop before, but protein effect. So what that means, when you digest protein, you have to use energy, calories, to break it down and to absorb it. Okay, so if I take it from carbs has the lowest thermic effect, protein has the highest, and fat is in the middle. So I think, and I'm doing this on the fly, ladies, but hey, protein has, I think, something like 10% of the protein calories that you actually ingest actually are used up to actually digest protein. So that's why it's an important one. Okay, so and if you look at the metabolism workshop I did, then you'll see that I talk about thermic effect of food in that one. Okay, so first of all, I think there's kind of 4 layers to this of how to actually get more protein. Number 1, I think there has to be a mindset shift. Like, you can't talk about wanting to get more protein in your diet by not actually going, right, okay, I now realize that I have to change how I eat to get the results I want, right? So if you're training fairly hard and you want to maintain muscle mass, which is massively important from a hormonal and metabolic point of view, you want that thermic effect, and you want to stay fuller for longer, then you have to eat more protein. It's something that's kind of non-negotiable. One of the challenges with a high carb diet is obviously carbs fast digesting, very easy, makes you hungry after about 10 minutes. Yeah, you know that. You've seen it, we know that. So, first of all, number one, mindset shift. You have to shift the mindset to be right. I'm actually making a firm decision to actually really eat protein. Cool. Number two, the planning stage, right? So here's the thing. We all plan stuff, right? We plan on nights out, we plan on meals out with friends and all that stuff. And we do that with military precision. But when it comes to nutrition, we're like, oh yeah, I'll just make whatever on the day. So there's a saying, piss poor planning makes piss poor results. Okay, so honestly, for most of you, I think there's a real block. Hey Lou, there's a real block around planning your nutrition, and whether that's because you think it's going to take ages, or B, you think it's going to piss off your family, then that's why it's having an impact on you. Okay, so all you got to do, literally, days of the week across the top, down the side you got lunch, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. Yeah, 4 meals a day. Little box. I've got one here for you if you want it. And just plan your meals out. Like literally, just plan the meals. And all you do is you go, right, what's the protein source that's going to be in each of these meals? Nothing more, nothing less. If you can get a palm size of protein in every meal, you are good to go. That's all you have to achieve, really, for most of you. So planning your meals, and look, ladies, let's be honest, it takes about 25 minutes to plan your meals. Like, seriously, you can plan a week's meals in about 20 minutes. Get your partner around the table, get the kids round, and say, right, we're planning the meals for the week. What we're going to do, okay? Then you execute the shopping to hit that meal plan, right? So number two on the list is you have to decide that this is what you're going to do, and you have to plan it. Like, it's almost that thing of you have to plan and get into the habit of planning before you can execute. Yeah, so it's like training. So planning is the training. Yeah, to be able to do the lift or run or the marathon afterwards, right? So number two, yeah, got plan. Like, literally, like for me, life is a bit easier. I eat meat, I eat fish, I eat dairy. So therefore, it's very easy. I've got a bigger range of foods for me to eat with, right? I can choose, I've got such a big variety. So for vegetarians, your principal sources of protein, firstly, dairy. Yeah, so if you aren't vegan, dairy is an awesome source of protein. So, ladies, you know this already. Protein yogurts are awesome. Cheese, milk, yeah, awesome. Easy peasy. Cool. Now, then after that, we got the vegetable forms of protein. So, you're looking at things like tofu, corn, lentils, and legumes. So when I say legumes, we mean peas. Okay, those are principally the sources of where you're going to get your protein from. Now, obviously, these things are lower in protein. They're not going to be as high as meat, like however, you can still get a decent amount of protein if you make sure you have a palm size of protein at that meal. So if you're making, say, a curry, let's just say, make it a lentil or dal or pea curry. Okay, the peas are your portion, or your portion sizes, and then nice handful of veg and some carbs. Done. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. It's not difficult, but I think a lot of you are overthinking it. So that's that. So those are really the big nuts and bolts of it. Like, I don't want to overfluff it because I don't think you need it. The issue for most of you is execution. Right. Next thing is then obviously supplementation. Now, I'm not a big fan of pushing a supplement towards you just from the point of view of, for most people, if they can get nutrition right, supplements aren't needed. However, on the fly, I will often say whey protein, first of all, is the number one type of protein. So whey protein, if you want one, comment below. I will then hook you up with a really good one. No affiliate to me, but they're just a really good brand, and they're fairly cheap. So protein, and one of the great things about whey protein is that you can add it to other things. So you can have protein pancakes, you can have protein cake, you can have a protein shake. There's so many ways that you can now add protein into different foods. One of my favorites is having, when I have, say, Weetabix or Shreddies, I'll put some protein on my cereal. Simple. Makes the milk taste really chocolatey, tastes really nice. Life is good. Okay, so that's number a really big one. So whey protein, it's the most bioavailable, different flavors, etc. So yeah, that was some milk. Awesome. Obviously, ladies, remember it does have protein. It does have calories. Yeah. So just because it's protein doesn't mean it has no calories. Okay. Cool. After that, you're looking at then soy protein. If you can't handle dairy, you're looking at soy protein, rice protein, and hemp protein. One of the better sources is a company called Awesome Supplements, and they mix, I think they mix soy and pea protein, so you get a bit more of a complete range of protein. So yeah, that's what they do. So that's a really good one for you. So yeah, supplement. Yeah, have a shake. Like, have one for breakfast. Like, if there's one tip I can always say to start to get more protein in, is to start your day with protein. Like, start your day with a shot of protein. Like, if you're not a big breakfast person, then a whey shake would be awesome. Yeah, whack it down. Yeah, and then you have to chew. It doesn't take a lot of time. Drink, go to work. Then you've got, lunch. Maybe a small snack in the day when you're a bit, when you're trying to avoid work. And then you got dinner. Boom, done. You make it your calories. So yeah, so getting higher protein, it just leaves you more fuller for longer, helps with recovery. And yeah, I think it's an easy win for you all. There you go. What else is there? Other than that, that is it, ladies. Like, I really don't want you to overthink it too much. Like, I think you just need to think about your things like your lentil, your dal, especially as we have a large Asian contingent, your dal and all that stuff. That needs to be your protein. Yeah. So, and then veggies on top. And I think maybe actually that's probably the bigger challenge, is actually having enough veggies, because you see the lentils and the dal and the peas as veg, but I would use that as your protein source. Palm size. Yeah. Not fingers, palm. And then you're good to go. Don't overthink it. So just to recap, plan that shizzle. No, wait, actually, let's go back. Mindset that shizzle. 2, plan it. 3, execute the plan. Palm size at every meal. And if in doubt, supplement it and let me know, and I'll happily suggest some good supplements. But I don't think it needs massively long talking. It just needs execution. That's the big thing. And the really big thing is, start your whatever your first meal is, have that with protein. You get decent shot of 20 grams of protein, good to go. But even a bars are pretty good now and again. Like, again, I'm not a big pusher of them. I'm not like you have to have a protein bar, but if you go to a shop and you're like, right, I'm really hungry, and you've left your lunch at home, then go and and you need a snack, grab a protein bar. Alternatively, there are tons of different really good sources now for protein. So edamame bean salads, you've got like falafel burgers, you've got things like veggie burgers. There are tons of really good sources out there for you. I've actually given you, if you look in the files, ladies, go to the group, go to files, there is a whole vegetarian protein recipe handbook. Yeah, so I don't think it's a case of you struggle to get protein. I think the big issue is about making the mindset change to decide that yes, you're going to eat more protein and you're going to plan it a little bit better. If you do that, so just remember what I said earlier, piss poor planning makes piss poor performance, then you'll be fine. All right? So let me know if that was helpful. Hopefully it was useful. If there's any questions, comment on this video and I'll happily answer them. All right? Let's go Tigers. Have an awesome day.